Hi everybody, and welcome to another prosecution of the results of the testing of the evolution of the algorithm u.U.F.O. This video is occurring 2 days after my previous one, so I strongly suggest you to take a look also at the previous video, so there can be a kind of continuation. And let's go directly to see how things are developing at this moment. Well, just to remind you what was before, and also you can go and check by yourself and make all your comparisons with your MetaTrader platform. I was making some trades. Today is the 7th of February 2018, and I was making some trades on GBP Japanese yen, going short, and I was reaching more or less this level. Then by the reading of the values of the u.U.F.O on a different time frames, I was supposing a kind of situation for the day after of some kind of ranging and retracing, and in fact that it was the thing that happened in that day. As you can see, maybe I could have left a bit more and reached this level, or even now, but there was this kind of situation then of ranging phase after the decay, and then retracing to this very limit. And in this situation, the values that were displayed in a different time frames were somehow contradicting, in the sense that even now we are observing that if here Japanese yen is in buy on the majority of on the major time frames, we are also observing that they are going also in a sell direction on the 15 minutes, 13 minutes, not 1 hour, but anyway, it's a kind of oscillation, another kind of fluctuation. So it could be a good moment also to take off my trade. I was even realizing a bit more, but I took myself a bit late on putting myself on the charts. Okay, so basically what happened this morning, I was having the values of GBP, Japanese yen, and also other currencies like Aussie and CAD that anyway has retraced, and in fact is the most little results here, that they were aligned, combining Japanese yen, which was the leading currency, let's say this way, for as regard strong and oversold. That was leading me to make the decision this very morning of the 7th to take these positions. I took a couple of them, and let's do a first thing so that we can make a conjunction with what we see in the previous video. Let's make an account statement. Okay, so this is the statement now, and in fact we have this previous balance. If you go on the previous video, you will see that exactly is the same statement. Please take a look at this and verify that all the values are corresponding. And that was the final situation on the end of Monday. Then Tuesday I didn't trade because of these values that were unbalancing on a different time frames. And then today, this morning, I decided to inject these trades in the very morning. Okay, 2 for each of these currency pairs in going short. Actually, these are open trades. Okay, and let's do a first let's put them by symbol so that will make easy. Let's grab one of them each, so we get some initial profit anyway. So let's put this also in points. So not that very much, but anyway, a positive result in terms of pips. And let's make another detailed statement. As usual, I consider my analysis a daily analysis, okay? And depending on when, here it is, now we have increased even more, and also we have another 1000 realized, so the equity is 16,600. Depending on when my trades are taken, then I can consider to take them more days. But let's say that if I would have been in this hour, I could have had a better positioning for getting even more pips, but at this hour I was sleeping, so it's like not always you can be available in the chart, and you know, so it can be also a thing that can somehow affect a better moment, so you accept maybe a little bit of volatility or a retracing. Same situation was for the CAD yen, that also retraced. Even if I took the trades about in this area, retraced more times, but was like a kind of resistance area. Of course, probably while I was sleeping, the signal of all the currency pairs aligned already with yen strong and oversold, so good to buy, would have been revealed already around this area, so that could have been a better positioning area. So it happens sometimes. That was in the middle of the ASEAN session. And same thing for the Aussie yen. Even here would have been a better area. So basically the formulas that I was capable to extend to all the time frames gave me more a better information for as regard the possibility of continuation of a trade, or if deciding to take in a trade or not. One side effect of this implementation that I had to discover, and that's why I was struggling some days ago, is that the great amount of formulas that are in this algorithm pushed me towards the direction of reducing the amount of formulas that are in the graphical module, for a simple reason that otherwise the usage of CPU from the computer that has to make tick by tick calculations in real time would have been too much, and therefore the performance of my algorithm would have been critical. So what I decided to do is to eliminate for this evolution of the algorithm. In fact, you don't see, let's take the Euro USD just to give you an idea. If you see other videos where I present only the original version of u.U.F.O, there are a lot of lines of support resistance that are all injected by extra calculations. As I had this idea of putting these two new sets of formulas that were reading the original values that are still the same, in order to help me to have a more precise determination of the currencies, forced me to reduce to a minimum elements of information for as regard the graphical side, giving only the 5% of the elements. That was a compromise that was necessary in order to make possible to have formulations that were anyway running smoothly, flawless, and having anyway not problems on displaying the calculations on multiple time frames simultaneously, because for each time frame there is its own calculation on 28 currency pairs, and these results are the results of all the formulations. So it's quite an amount of stress for the CPU, for the computer. So that was the compromise that I had to make. So let's finally see. Actually, there's still a GBP Japanese yen in sell in the monthly, in the weekly. New Zealand dollar yen, in this case now New Zealand dollar is getting the weakest and overbought of the situation, as well as also reverberate in this lower time frames, and we can start to see that GBP is retracing somehow, is getting some retracement, and also Japanese yen from time to time is getting negative, and so we have to be careful. And also it's almost the end of the American session, so probably there will be even more movement. But as regard this result, is an extra result made just in some days, and as usual you can take note of what is going on here, and of all the currencies that I have traded, and the time and the price, so you can always check. Now we have 23 trades and only 3 trades remaining open. Okay, which are giving us, that was 985, and now is even more. So basically initially I was starting to calculate only on a weekly and daily time frame, and then I adjusted the formulas. I made some tests that of course I can always conduct exclusively in real time. It cannot be back testing for this, because there is no feature in MetaTrader that allows us to back test 28 currency pairs simultaneously in each and every time frame. It's impossible for MetaTrader to do that, and I think also it's not very possible for the majority of the trading platforms. But so that's why there is the need of taking some time for making extra tests while the markets are running. But the results that I'm having both in this demo account for explanation and on my personal application on my live account are quite promising, and somehow it's like reading the u.U.F.O, but by not making extra effort, but making even less effort in determining the weakest and the strong, and also overbought and oversold conditions, which are also situations that we would like always to evaluate, and not in terms of currency pairs, crosses, but in terms of currencies, and that's it. So with an overall insight and overview of the elements that are creating the cross, the pairs, okay? So with this continuation, now I will close this trade and realize the final detailed report for today. And this is what we got with 26 trades. Okay, we got some negative positions, which are here, and positive positions in the overall portfolio that has been generated by trading multiple assets and distributing the risk. This is the final result. I think it's enough for this extra update for your evaluation, and I just let you see what are the actual values for today, so that you can have somehow at least an insight for your personal evaluation and analysis of the market. I invite you to watch also not only this preview, the immediately before video, where is basically this is the continuation of that, but I also suggest you to have a look to the webinars that I've made, because a lot of emails that I receive which are asking me about the theory and the principles that I am applying then with this algorithm. Of course, the algorithm is to make a simplification in terms of effort, and but things can also be done by the analysis of the 28 charts. This is my personal solution to analyze everything simultaneously in a very few minutes, and have an idea if it's a moment to trade, if it's something that can be injected or not, or if it's better to wait. But as I was saying, there are some videos on this channel that are more talking about theory and hedging and the way I see the markets, which are webinars for the majority, and I strongly suggest you also to take a look at that, because some of you were sending me emails with requests of information that I'm sure you can really find them in the videos are a bit longer, but it's important to cover a topic with as much as possible information, so you have to be patient, take note, and then do your experiments and see what works for you as well, accordingly to the way you trade, the hours you trade, and all the characteristics of your daily activity that can affect your trades. I thank you for watching, for subscribing the channel, for supporting, and as usual, good time and good space.